Greetings and thanks for joining Chant a Day. We are here today on Saturday, the 29th. We're getting ready to finish the month of June. We're on the capitalistic calendar. And that capitalistic calendar dictates the day, it dictates the month, it dictates the year, it dictates. It dictates. So, we are here today. I am just getting up, got up really, just laid in bed and meditated and thought of some things that I wanted to share with everyone today. So, oh my goodness. The electricity was out yesterday. People call it the power. The power is out. The power is out. Greetings of great power filled with joy to you, El Sue. And that power, we get it confused with electrical power. That is the ultimate power. When we don't have that, we are lacking in power. When in fact, that's not the case. People have lived without electricity for years. And they live without electricity happy as ever. And living off of the land as the Native Americans did. So the idea of monetizing electricity to run refrigerators, computers, fans, to run our appliances that we probably don't even need, it's a false illusion of what power is. And we're giving up our power for this false power. And when that happens, we find ourselves in turmoil. We find ourselves in depressing, stressful situations because either we're not able to pay or the work that we're doing is not bringing enough money to pay for these services, internet, electricity, etc., because we need to run equipment. So it becomes this quagmire that people actually put themselves in because they're not looking at the words that they're using and the power that they're giving to these words, and they're giving it over to someone else or some other organization or entity, right? So we have to empower ourselves, and we have to return that power to ourselves, and changing our minds and our narrative thinking around where we put our hearts. Okay. Sometimes we have young people talking about money, and they want money. They need to have money because they see in the world that we live in is about moving money from one place to the next. And when they're not seeing themselves part of that moving process of money, they become infatuated with attaining the money. And then they end up doing something nefarious for the money. So we have to change this mindset. And that's why this summer I'm doing a financial literacy workshop to teach children about money, to teach children that money is just something that is used, and it's something that you use to gain something, but it's not the end all of that something that you can create. I had to spend money to buy the yarn to make this, right? The money that I spent to make this, I created something, right? I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm just practicing. But I created something. And in that creation, that can be given to someone else. And I can give it as a gift, or I can say, okay, you can give me $1 for this. And I will recoup some of the money, but maybe not all. But the recouping is more empowering when you give it to someone that they can then be empowered themselves from that. So that's not money. That is an exchange of empowerment and kindness. And that kindness is evolved into that overall picture, as opposed to the money is the end all and beginning and end of all. So we have to look at that the electricity is not our power, right? Righteousness is our power. When people tell me, oh, the power went out, I'm like, what? No, the power's still there. I've got the power. So let's rephrase that into the electricity is out, right? The electric company that runs the electricity is not working correctly or something, you know what I mean? But giving them that power is not justified to me. We, the people, have the power, not the electric company has the power over us, because we have allowed them to take that power. So in the Psalm today, that is what we're talking about. We're talking about taking safety in righteousness and not in the power and principalities of this world, because the power and principalities of this world is passing away. Okay, look at Biden when he was in the debate. He's an older person, he's an aging individual, and eventually, he's not going to be there. So we see that the powers and principalities of this world are passing away. It's evident in the candidates. It's evident in what is going on in the structure of the political. I don't want to claim it as mine. Of the political platforms that are out there, and the maintenance of power of a few over many is what is at stake in the election. Maintaining power over many, but just a few, has that. So that's always been maintained. It's always been maintained. So this psalm is very relevant because it is a psalm of David that David sang about the words of Cush. Okay, and Cush was a Benjamite, and I named my daughter Cush. So this is about the words of Cush. So this is Psalm 7, and it is 17 verses. So we have a lot of 7 going on here today. I'm not into numerology, but I look at numbers as significant in our journey, right? However, I don't worship them. Like I don't worship money and material things, right? I worship what is unseen, that is a mist of righteousness that's omnipresent. That is what I give my heart to. So I posted that I'm married. I'm married to righteousness. I'm married to kindness and love and honor and respect. That is who I'm married to. And in that marriage to that, I have to maintain certain protocols with myself, right? So in verse 1, we see that righteousness is what is ultimately we take safety in. We take safety in righteousness. We take safety in mercy and kindness and compassion and grace. We are safe in those spaces. And we are saved from pursuers, and we are delivered from the enemies. So David is chanting this song of adulation in reference to that righteousness that's his safe place, and that has saved, from the pursuers and delivered. Because either that, or he would be tear apart by a beast, tearing his life apart and rending it in pieces with none to deliver. So this is what I felt, that my heart was broken into pieces when my person, who I thought was my person, met someone, and they've moved on, and they told me to move on. Absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder. It just pulls it apart further and further for this individual. So with that being said, it is important that I know that I am delivered. Even though my heart is in pieces on the ground, I am going to be delivered because I have married to righteousness and kindness and mercy. I'm going to be okay. So when we look at this verse 1 and 2, the righteousness is where you take your safety, and is where you're going to be, where saving grace is coming from. Okay? That saving grace comes from that place. So you're without that, you're gonna tear, your life is gonna be torn apart, and it's gonna be in pieces with none to deliver, and then you're gonna feel that way. However, I felt a deliverance, a weight lifted off of me, in terms of the releasing of a relationship that was for 6 years, that probably kind of was halted from the beginning. Because from the beginning, when I met this person, I was like, I am traveling. You sure you want to be in this with me? Because I go places. And I met the person, and immediately that same month, I was off on an assignment. So it's hard, sometimes we want what we want when we want it, and we don't see the bigger picture of it. Like, okay, this person isn't for me because they're not going to be with me like that. They're away. I'm not the homemaker, stay-at-home mom type of person. I am a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very ambitious. I'm a go-getter. I go after what I need to support my work. I'm a researcher. I'm a family scientist. So it's similar to being married to someone who is, I don't want to use the term in the military, because that was used with me, that I'm not in the military. Why am I away? But I'm away because I do community work. I'm a community activist. I'm a advocate for children and families. I move all over the country doing work. Anyway, so there is one to deliver. I was delivered, and I'm an example that broken hearts, you can be okay after a broken heart. You have a family death. Some people, when they lose a family member, they actually, their soul, their life is torn apart, and it's in pieces with none to deliver. That's how they feel. When in fact, you are delivered, because that person now that is gone, you now have a chance to live. You have a chance now to live. Not in terms of living for that person who's gone, but living for yourself, to be better for yourself so you can be good for others. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. So it's important that we are strong minded to know that we are not alone. We may be sleeping alone. We may be waking up alone. We may be going to bed alone. We may be walking on the beach alone, but we're not alone. We always are surrounded by righteousness, mercy, compassion, and love. And you have to turn the noise off to feel it. You'll be able to feel it, but you have to turn off the noise. Today I'm drinking lemongrass. You can see the lemongrass, little bits of it here, right here. Lemongrass. So this Psalm 7 is very, very important in my healing. So verse 3, righteousness, okay? Righteousness is speaking about doing something wrong. So when there is something wrong you have done, there's wrongness you have done in your hands. Maybe you slapped someone. That's not cool. Maybe you did something with your hands that was not good. And you repaid your friend, with something wrong. Or you plundered your enemy without a cause. Your enemy is over there, they're minding their business, but you went over there and did something to them. The psalm is speaking in verse 5 that the enemy is going to pursue your life and take it over and trample your life to the ground and is going to lay your glory in the dust, Selah, because you have wronged a person. You're going to get trampled in life to the ground when you wrong someone. So be kind to people. Be honest with people. If you don't want to be with a person, let them know. Don't go and meet someone and then have them ask you, are you seeing someone else? And then they tell you, no, I'm not seeing anyone else, but I did meet someone. Like, don't do that. Tell the person, say, you know what, this isn't working, this long distance. I've told you before many times, let's just end this now, now. Many times and opportunities to do that have arisen, but that never happened. So I don't wish anything bad on anyone. I just know that when you give love, you're going to get that. When you give dishonesty, when you give, when you give a person, especially a close person you've known for 6 years, 7, 8, 10 years, and you've done them this, it's something that has to return. However, I ask for mercy on everyone that's done me wrong because I don't want anyone harmed, hurt, bothered, stressed. That's not what I am here about. I'm about giving kindness and love and compassion and mercy. And I give of myself, my heart, my finances, my time, my energy, my love, my everything I gave. And it was not enough because I was away. I got an apartment in Maryland because that's where the job sent me. So in verse 6, because in verse 3, 4, and 5, you don't want to do anything wrong. When there's wrong in your hands, you're going to get it back. So when things happen to you that's not good, you got to look at yourself. I looked at myself throughout this whole entire situation, and I said, you know what? I have to look at me. I blame myself. It's me. I should have put my foot down and said it's over from the beginning. We wouldn't have been here now today. So, and my finances probably would have been intact. But anyway, we're moving on because as I mentioned in the beginning of this Chant psalm, money is an illusion. You can take money from me. I can give it to you, give it to you, and it's still not going to be enough for you to love me, because money cannot buy love. It can't buy a person. They're not going to stay with you because of money. And sometimes people do. They're in relationships just because that person is paying their rent or their whatever. There's an exchange. There's a theory, it's a social exchange theory that speaks to the fact that people are in social situations because of some kind of exchange, whether it's monetary or it's an external reward. It's not or it's an internal reward. They feel internally happy exchanging socially with the person. So in the psalm today, it's about life. It's about life and living and loving and learning. And I am on my healing journey. So in verse 6, it's righteousness is going to arise, and it's going to arise in an angry way. Lift yourself up against the fury of the enemies. This is righteousness is going to lift up itself against the fury of the enemies. Awake, righteousness. Righteousness has appointed a judgment. So when you do wrong, righteousness is coming around to deal with you. And righteousness may deal with you in an angry way, similar to what happened to me. I was on the wrong path and I fell and broke my arm, but righteousness picked me up and it gave me the opportunity to heal from that physical as well as that mental, intellectual knowledge that going the wrong way is going to result in brokenness. Going the righteous way is going to result in uprightness and safety, right? You're going to be safe in that righteous place, that righteous space. So in verse 7 is talking about the assembly of people gathering around you and returning on high. Returning on high. So in verse 8, we see righteousness judging the people. Okay? Righteousness judging the people. And David is receiving it. Judge I, O righteousness, according to I and I righteousness. So when verse 8 is talking, this is what it reads. The Lord judges the peoples. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness and according to the integrity that is in me. That's what it reads. In translation, righteousness is what judges the people. That is what is going to judge the people ultimately, right? And David is like, judge me, O righteousness, according to my own righteousness and according to the integrity that is in me. So in verse 9, oh, let the evil of the wicked come to an end, right? That righteousness may be established and that righteousness tests the minds and hearts. O righteous God, my shield is with righteousness that saves the righteous in heart. When your heart is righteous, it is light. It can be lifted as a feather floating in the atmosphere because it's light. It's not burdened with stress, guilt, regret, anxiety, depression, oppressive. It's not burdened with that. So you can stand upright because the shield of righteousness is what is going to save the upright in heart. All right? Righteousness is a righteous judge. God is a righteous judge. If you want to use God, Lord, Jesus, Jehovah, whatever you want to put in there, put. That's your personal business. I like to use the word righteousness. Why are we getting away from that word? It's good, it's perfect, it's merciful, it's kind, it's compassion, it's grace. So that is what the judge is. That righteousness is going to be the judge and is righteousness is going to feel that indignation every day. Okay? When a man does not repent, man, woman, whoever, does not repent or talk about what wrongs they have done to someone, the Most High will whet their sword and has bent and readied the bow and has prepared for that one deadly weapons, making arrows fiery shafts. So, not telling what you did wrong, okay, is not going to help you. You think not talking about it is going to make it go away and it's going to be hidden under your heart. No, it's going to be adding to that heaviness in your heart. Let it go. Let go and let righteousness flow. Because that is how you're going to be saved from the deadly weapons and the fiery shafts of these arrows. Okay? In verse 14, the wicked, evilness, wrong, lying people, they are birthing evil and they're pregnant with mischief and they're giving birth to untruths. Okay? They're giving birth to untruths. And in verse 15, they're making a pit, digging it out. Okay? They're making a pit, digging it out for you to fall into. But guess what's going to happen? We always talk about when you dig a hole for one person, you better dig two. One for you and the person. Because this is where this comes from. Psalm 7, okay, verse 15 and 16. The wicked makes a pit, digging it out, and falls into the hole that he has made. So mischief returns upon their own head, the wicked's own head, and on the wicked's own skull his violence descends. Ouch! Ouch! So when you are violent, when you are playing violent video games, when you are engaged in arguments in the rise and you're not giving thanks as you rise up, but you're complaining, you're cursing and arguing and fussing and fighting, you're giving the power over to the evil one. You don't want to do that. You want to get up and you want to give thanks, even in your sorrow and your broken heart. Pick it up off the ground and pick the pieces up. You're not going to be forsaken out there. You're going to be delivered. I'm a testimony of that. Okay? Somebody else, God forbid, or righteousness forbid, that a person would go crazy going through what I've gone through. That they wouldn't be functioning. When my first son passed, my other children were like, you know what? Maybe you don't need to do this summer workshop this summer. Maybe you need to not do it. I did it. At the parent orientation, I went up and I told the parents, my son passed. He was found in a Motel 6, overdosed on fentanyl. And this is tragic. But I have to share it with you parents because I'm authentic and I am real and honest. And you are trusting me with your children. I have to let you know what's happened. So my son was 32 years old, and I look at the healing is releasing the guilt and all of that away from it, so I could see fully the beauty of his life and not beat myself down and where I failed and what I could have did, what I should have did, what didn't or did or could have happened. So that's why I mentioned in the psalm yesterday, leave people alone. If people don't want you and they leave them alone, just leave them be. Do not have a grudge against someone. Do not hold vengeance against someone. Leave them be. Because your heart should not be taking that on. That's why people get heart attacks. right? You need to hit the rhythm of the do good. That's the heartbeat. The heartbeat. Do good. Do good. That's the your heart is beating that. So when you are listening to the heartbeat, your heart feels it and it gets rejuvenated. That's the cure for heart attacks is the drum. But what happened? They took it away. They took it away. It was a healing instrument for your heart, the vibration. It was a communication instrument. This was that type of instrument. And they took it away because they know that it is empowering that individual person. And they don't want people empowered. They want them to give them the power. No, people, take back your power. Go solar. Use solar energy. You don't need the electric company that's robbing you. Go solar. Get a panel. Go get a solar co-op. You know how they have food co-ops? Well, you can start a solar co-op and buy solar and people can rent them or however you want to do that co-op. Come together, people. You got to come together. It's about time, and you got to come together for righteousness, not come together to go kill folks and to go storm some capital and to go and to go, run down people on a protest. Come on. Come together, brother and sister, because the time is coming. The time is calling. It is now. It's not tomorrow. It wasn't yesterday. It is now. So as we end the psalm, we see that the mischief of the powers and principalities of this world is going to come on their own head. And then their own skull, violence is going to descend. So in verse 17, this is what David said he's going to do. I'm going to give to righteousness the thanks due to righteousness. Okay, this is how it says. I will give to the Lord the thanks due to his righteousness. What is the Lord? The Lord is righteousness. I will give to righteousness the thanks due to righteousness. And I will chant, Isis, songs to the name of righteousness, the Most High. So that is the name of righteousness, the Most High. Not the most low, but the Most High. We're going to seek for what is high above, not for what is below. And that's why people are drug addicts, because they're seeking for that high. They're seeking for what's above, right? They want to get high up there. And then they destroy their bodies in the process. So instead of using white sugar, white powder, white flour, white stuff that's creating mucus, because that's what the white stuff does to your body. It creates mucus, right? When you see a child's nose is running, it's got snot in it, that's cheese and milk and all that stuff they've been eating coming out. So that Most High, if you want to get there, you have to be aware of the works behind it, and the indulgence of things unknown is not good. So get some tea. That is going to bring you to the Most High. Some lemongrass tea, some healing oils. I'm sending some out. Get your healing oils today. Selah and Selah again. This ends the psalm for today. And I love it. I love that Psalm 7 is about, in the Most High do I take safety. I love that because it gives us a liberated ideology that we can take and return the power to us. And that power is righteousness. It's not dominating power. It is a free power that I'm free to do righteousness and merciful things and goodness, and you are too. And when we come together to do that, we make a beautiful love. And that is what the ultimate loving is about. That's the kind of loving that I seek to have in my life. I seek that kind of loving, that revolutionary loving where you can sit with someone and have that intellectual communication, and people's lives are changed with that communication. They start eating right, they start talking right, they start living right, doing right to other people and to themselves. So I just got the verse of the day is coming from Psalm 138 verse 8. Your love, righteousness, endures for all time to come. And I mentioned that the other day, that righteousness doesn't die, when we leave the earth. It keeps on. So why should we be afraid? Why should we be afraid or fear the unknown? We shouldn't. We should embrace it, because righteousness is the ultimate go-to. And that's what we're trying to save. That's what we're trying to make sacred and keep for the next generation. Like, here is righteousness. I'm passing it on. This is what it is, and this is how it works and how it flows. So that is the ultimate. And I love the verse today coming from Psalm 138 verse 8, that the love of righteousness keeps on keeping on for all time to come. Thank you so much for joining Chant Day. Enjoy your day today. And I wanted to actually find the verse, not the verse, but the word today from dailyword.com. So the word today is worthy. Worthy. And this is important because self-worth is important. Self-worth is a major important is majorly important. And in that self-worth, and I have a quote, I'm trying to find it here, about self-worth, and I believe I had posted it. Where is it? Because the word today is worthy, and I am worthy and I am blessed. I am worthy and I am blessed. Let me see if I can search it. Self-worth. No. It must be in here. Let's see. So because self-worth is important, and the reason why is because sometimes we doubt our own self-worth when others are in our lives that don't value our self-worth or see us as worthy. They see us as either an ATM machine or whatever. So self-worth, when you try to make things better for a lot of people, you may end up making things worse for yourself. A little self-sacrifice is noble. However, depriving yourself of too much will only leave you depleted. This is what's happened to me. By that time, most people won't even realize that you need anything because you're the one who has always given. And this is what the person who I was with told me. I didn't know you need anything because you were always giving me. So I thought you didn't need anything. You always had. So take care of yourself. Self-preservation is not selfish. It's essential for living a full and happy life. Right? Self-preservation is not selfish. It's essential for living a full and happy life. So, in the word today, worthy, I am worthy and blessed. So, knowing I and I oneness with righteousness means knowing I and I worth and that I matter. I will no longer play it small or shrink in fear. This is a new moment, and I courageously embrace all that I am as a unique divine creation deserving the best life has to offer. This is part of healing. It's part of healing. Because I have to up my self-worth. Because as you can see, I'm feeling this person, and I ask the Most High to release this from me. And it's happening. So it's like I'm saying goodbye. I'm letting go. Because the next words I'm about to read, when I saw them, that's where it hit me. I am ready to be seen for who I am. I am blessed to speak my truth and be my authentic self. I do not need anyone's approval to be happy and tranquil. I let I and I light shine in a kaleidoscope of brilliant colors. I am a righteous being, overflowing with divine gifts of life, love, joy, tranquility, and abundance. I affirm my worth and commit to being a voice for those who have yet to know theirs. I honor righteousness' light in everyone. Selah and Selah again. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in the sight of the Most High. Selah and Selah again. And this word touched me so. Worthy. Worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy of being loved. You are worthy of being respected. You are worthy of being a voice for those who have yet to know their own worth. So be a voice for them. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for righteousness is with you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Righteousness is with you wherever you go. Remember that. I receive that in the fullness. I receive it. Righteousness is with you wherever you go. Wherever you go. And didn't I just mention that? Joshua, thank you. You just sealed it up there. Because that's what righteousness is. It's an omnipresent in the air. You can feel it. Goodness and mercy and compassion. So that is the word today, worthy, right? Worthy. You are worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of being loved. I am worthy of being respected. I am worthy of being honored. I am worthy of being put first in a relationship. I am worthy of being a team member with someone. I'm worthy of being on a team, right? I am worthy of that. So I embrace it and I'm thankful for it. It gives me great knowledge and strength to know, and I'm thankful. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you so much for staying in there and tuning in. Have a blessed day, and remember, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. Self-worth. Have a blessed day, everyone. Call me Sue.